राम राम, अस्सलाम वालेकुम, सत श्री अकाल और एक मिनट नमस्कार मुंबई। आमची मुंबई है ना? तो आप शायद सोच रहे हैं ये फिरंगी कौन है ना? प्यूरीफाई ना? Two foreigners from Bollywood. Maybe? I get confused with these guys a lot actually. And so tonight, let me tell you who I am first. मेरा नाम Karl है, मैं न्यू जीलैंड से हूँ और अब मैं दिल्ली में रहता हूँ. And you'll be shocked to know, I know you heard that, oh, you'll be shocked to know that my second home is in Haryana. Crazy, nah. But I'll talk more about Haryana and the Jolly Jat people later. Not as bad as you're all thinking. Tonight I want to take you over three things. So, what I do, why I do it, and before that, like, why India? That's what you're wondering, nah? Like, why am I here in India of all places, when everybody's leaving India and going, you know, the other way? But first, let's start off with what I do. So, I'm a YouTuber, and I make videos on YouTube, obviously. And there's kind of three things I do with these videos. The first thing is I help foreigners travel India safely and confidently. I want them to have an amazing time here and enjoy India as much as I do. But there are a lot of, what would you say, complexities for foreigners when we first arrive here. It's kind of a difficult place to travel for us because we're quite naive and quite gullible, and we often get taken for a ride here. So one example is, when you arrive at the New Delhi airport, and most foreigners arrive in New Delhi, you look out that door, right, and you see, it's like a sea of people. And it's all taxi drivers. And as soon as you walk out that door, a taxi driver starts and approaches us, and they're like, where are you going, blah, blah, blah. And they do everything they can to keep us away from that prepaid taxi stand, which we should be going to. They do everything possible to keep us away from there. And that's their first trick they're playing on us. They play kind of three tricks on us as foreigners coming to India. That's the first trick. And if you go with them at their rate, it's going to be 3 or 4 times what you could pay if you just went to that prepaid taxi booth. Then once they've got you in their car, there's like 1 or 2 things they'll usually try on you after that. First thing is, they've always got a friend who owns a craft store. You know, when you're a foreigner, you're like, oh, this guy says, you know, I've got a friend who owns a craft store. Like, great, he really has a friend who owns a craft store. Maybe I'll get a good deal or something. Like, we're that gullible and naive to believe these things. And so we go to the store, and we enter the store, and these stores are set up for foreigners, and they charge like extreme prices. It's totally overpriced, and they use these really high-pressure sales tactics on us. And it's so high pressure for us that we feel like we just have to buy something to get out of there, and if we don't buy something, you know, they just pull all of our emotional strings. We're not used to this, really, and so we buy something to get out. That was a bad experience. You know, these taxi drivers are kind of, this is our first interaction with people here in India when we get to the airport and we leave the airport, these drivers. And if that's not enough, the third thing they might do is they'll tell us our hotel has burnt down or something has happened to our hotel, and we really shouldn't go there because it's not going to work out. They might say, it's a terrible hotel, you just cannot stay there. They'll use something like that on us, and if we go with them to their hotel, then they're earning commission there again, like they did if we brought something at that last store. And so then the next day we wake up and we realize our hotel's calling us saying, no, we didn't burn down, we're not shut down. And we realize what's happened the day before, and that was our first introduction to India, arriving at the New Delhi airport. And so I wanted to counter this. I wanted people to arrive here safely, get to their hotel safely, and just have an incredible time here and love India as much as I do. So I wrote this book, The India Survival Guide. And it's a really quick read just to get people, so when foreigners land here in India, they can really enjoy their time here. And then I started making these YouTube videos to promote that book. So I went out and I got myself scammed a number of times just to show foreigners exactly what to look out for and exactly how these scams work. And I'll just show you like the first minute and a half of one of these videos that is shot at the New Delhi airport. So if you guys can turn the light off on the screen. This is just the first minute and a half just stepping out of the New Delhi airport. So there are 4 ways you can get back to your hotel from the airport. Firstly, you can go outside and you can just meet any taxi driver, and these guys on the street out here are just going to extort you.
Paharganj.
Paharganj? Which hotel?
Paharganj main market.
Any hotel there?
No, main market.
First time in India?
Yeah, first time. How much is it to go there?
Just only $20.
$20. American?
Yes.
I have rupees.
Rupees you give me.
How much rupees?
How many person?
How much? It's just one person.
Just come.
How much rupees?
1,200.
I'll check here first.
My friend, listen. I will drop you main point.
Yeah.
It's the same price there. It's
Really?
my first time, morning time is, so you are first customer. Okay, you give me 1,000 plus.
No. I think it's too expensive stuff.
It's a price, sir. It's a company guy. It's a company, so it's a...
No, it's okay. Thank you.
This is a good price, sir. Where are you from?
New Zealand.
So I tell you, how many days in India?
You always tell me a good price, eh?
This is good price for you.
Amazing price.
Yes. Just otherwise 1,800 is price for city.
Really,
City
1,800.
But I will give you a reasonable price because you tell me frankly. So I give you last is a 1,000 rupees.
No, it's okay. I'll check here too first. Thank you.
Listen, you go with me.
Why?
You give him 600 rupees.
It's okay. I'll check here.
He will give you 600 rupees.
Coming from, there's a big man.
Did you hear what he just said at the end there? I knew what he was saying too, but I didn't want to like blow my cover. So yeah, that is not uncommon for foreigners to experience when they first get here. So I made this video to help them get to their hotels safely and avoid these guys. And that's what a lot of my videos do, the scam videos. They're not there for entertainment. They're there to educate foreigners on just how to really have a good time in India and avoid the bad sides of things. So that's the first thing I do. And I get this kind of feedback which really makes me kind of feel fulfilled in what I'm doing and actually that these things are making a difference. So this guy says, thanks again for your advice. It was spot on and it helped make my trip the fun it was. And that is for me exactly what I want to do to foreigners. I want them to enjoy India as much as I do. Second thing I do is I try and counter all the negative perceptions that foreigners have about India because those scam videos are kind of negative, right? So I do a lot of positive videos, and I find like a lot of foreigners have these kind of, this like 1950s, 1960s kind of perception of India. They haven't updated their like world knowledge on India since independence, and they just think that India is this kind of slum. They have no idea of the development that's happened since independence. So I make a bunch of videos, I go behind the scenes of villages, and I show them what happens in an Indian village. I show them the beauty of Indian village living and simplicity. And I take them to the Gurugram, the mega city, and I show them how India has developed in a number of ways across a number of videos. And for example, my brother, he came to India, and he had no idea that Delhi had a metro system that rivaled London's. It's amazing, the metro. And one foreigner even asked me, do they have milk in India? It's the most bizarre question. I just had to stop for a minute and just think. And I looked at her and she was totally serious. I was just like, my God, it's a weird question. So that's the second thing I do on the channel. And Daniel really kind of sums up a lot of foreigners' perceptions well. I always thought India was pretty much a third world country with people dying left and right from disease. However, when I started watching your channel a year ago, I learned that in reality, it's a really cool place with a different feeling to it. You made me want to go there one day. So that makes me feel good. Third thing I do is I entertain people. And a lot of the times it's with in this video it was with my Hindi. But whenever I'm entertaining people, there's always kind of like an education element to the video. I can't just do like nonsense entertainment like race 3 or something like that. There's got to be like some kind of education behind the video I'm doing. I have to have some kind of purpose, right? And so I went around. This video is set in Haryana, where I used to live, and I just wanted to capture the smiles on Indians' faces when I'd speak, just a little bit of Haryanvi to them. It's a tiny bit, and their faces just explode. And it was just such a happy experience for me learning Hindi or learning Haryanvi to see these guys just smiling at me all day long. It's such a beautiful thing. And I know Haryanvis have a really a bad rap in Indian culture. But if you watch this video, you just see how jolly they are and how beautiful they are. They're not what everyone thinks, actually. I really love spending time in Haryana. So I'll show you this little clip, and this was a video that actually was my first viral video. People really love this clip. This is my one of the milkmen at a mother dairy store.
Ram Ram ji.
Hello, Ram. How are you?
क्या हाल चाल?
बढ़िया, बढ़िया.
अच्छा जी. स्वीट लस्सी दीजिए.
Sweet lassi, okay.
जी पैकेट वाला.
Okay.
केतु हरियाणवी से?
हाँ.
अच्छा.
हरियाणवी.
अच्छा. मैं न्यूजीलैंड से हूँ.
न्यूजीलैंड.
हाँ.
यार न्यूजीलैंड मतलब बहुत ही बढ़िया शहर है वैसे.
हाँ.
ऑल ओवर मतलब टूरिस्ट एरिया.
हाँ. बहुत अच्छा है.
अमेज़न तो जन्नत.
हाँ. स्काई डाइविंग, बंजी जंपिंग.
स्नोबॉलिंग, बहुत ज़्यादा सब कुछ.
Yeah.
I think चलो बहुत बढ़िया लगा.
20 हमें कितने रुपए हैं?
15.
ठीक है.
Okay.
थैंक यू जी.
ठीक है.
ठीक है.
Thank you so much,
हाँ.
bro.
धन्यवाद.
धन्यवाद. बहुत अच्छा लगा मिल के.
हाँ. थैंक यू.
Thank you. मिलते रहना.
अच्छा. बाय.
Okay, bye.
You would have heard me saying like two in there a lot, and a lot of people correct me on this, but in Haryanvi, everybody's two. They don't use up, it's just two. So, yeah, that's why some people think their language is quite rude, I guess, but it's just how it is there. And so this is me when I was 18, around the time I started getting interested in India. Like, the girl who took this photo was my girlfriend at the time, and she's the one who also got me interested in India through the food, through my stomach. One night she was in the kitchen and she was cooking curry, and I'd never had Indian food or curry in my life before. Like 16 or so years ago back in New Zealand, like international food and these things, international cuisine wasn't a big thing. So yeah, I'd never had Indian food before, and I walked in there, I'm like, what are you cooking? It's smelling. And she's like, curry. And when you're cooking a curry overseas, it's not what you all think. It's, you buy a can of curry from the supermarket, and you just heat up some chicken, you pour that can of curry on, you just simmer it, and that's curry in the West. And so she's cooking this orange butter chicken, and I'm like, I'm not going to eat that, I don't eat curry. And then she starts going on like that usual old line, like, if you don't try something, you won't know if you like it. Who's heard that before? I heard that all through my childhood. My mum tried to get me to eat broccoli, and never trusted that line after she wrecked that line for me. But I'm like, all right, to stop her nagging, I will try this curry so she can't use that line on me again. I just proved to her I don't like it. And anyway, so I got a spoon and I stuck it in the pot, and I put it in my mouth, and my head just exploded. I was like, what is this amazing thing? It's so complex, and I can't believe I hadn't tried it before. I was just eating, what was it, like roast lamb, roast chicken, and fish and chips. And so that butter chicken was like the beginning of my love and my passion and my experience of India. And so from that point, from that food, I just like, oh my God, I got to find out what this is. Where does it come from? What is this? I've been missing out on something all my life so far. And so I just started exploring Indian food from there, and Indian food led into Indian culture, it led into Bollywood, it led into Hindi music, it led into me learning Hindi, and I just kept going down that rabbit hole, and I just kept discovering this passion I had inside me for India. I never knew I had that. Before that, my two passions were music and computers, and then this third one came along at age 18, and it was for India. And yeah, it's like, what's your favorite color? Like, why is red your favorite color? You don't know why. It's like, why is India my favorite place to be? It's kind of that, it's the feeling, right? And maybe it comes from my stomach. Maybe I was Indian in a past life, I don't know. But you guys have an amazing country, and so some of the things I love about India, the culture, the history, the diversity. when it comes to like the landscape, you guys have absolutely everything. You've got the big cities, the small cities, the villages. We don't have villages in New Zealand, so I love spending time there. And then you've got the Himalayas, Jammu and Kashmir, which is absolute heaven. You've got the crystal clear waters over in Andamans or Lakshadweep. And you've got the lush tropical forests in Kerala. You've got the deserts in Rajasthan. What else? Oh, the northeast. The northeast is paradise on earth. If you ever go to Mizoram or somewhere like that, oh my God, I fell in love with that place a few months ago. So India has absolutely everything, and yeah, I love being here and I love it here. So that's why India. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just, for me, it's a feeling these days. And so why do I do this? Well, this is me, like, I don't know, 5 years ago when I was working in the music industry. So I followed my first passion for music originally and went as far as it could take me in the music industry. And this is me with the biggest band in the world at the time, One Direction. We were presenting them with sales plaques for however many records they sold in New Zealand. So for me, everything was like great on paper, right? Like, life was amazing. I had a job, a career, money, everything. And like I didn't feel fulfilled, you know? It's that usual old story. And every year, I just wait for those 4 weeks where I could just go and travel and just get away from work. And I was so disillusioned with my life back home. Like, I just been sold that dream, you know, like, go to school, get a degree, then you get a job, find a wife, get married, and get a house, and it just goes on from there forever. And I'd never wanted any of that, actually. And so I just wasn't feeling fulfilled in my life at all. And then one day, my boss calls me into my office it's always 4 p.m. on a Friday, right? Just before the weekend. And she's like, close the door. And that's when I knew, oh, something's serious, when she's telling me to close the door. And I was being made redundant from my job. But it was actually the best thing that ever happened to me, because it was like the kick that I needed to do what I wanted in life. Because for so many years, I've been slogging away. For like 10 years, I've been working for other people and working on other people's dreams. And I knew, like, 5 years into it, this wasn't for me, and I wanted to do something different with my life. But I really needed a kick to do it. And I'd been reading this article, and it was the top 5 regrets that we have before we die, and that really spoke to me. The number 1 regret was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself. And I knew I wasn't living that life by working for these companies and working on other people's dreams. I knew that I had to follow my passion. And that passion was India at that time, and still is. And so I'd lost my job, and I knew for the longest time that I had to go to India and I had to see what happened. So I had this one goal. And the goal was, I'm going to go to India and I'm going to travel to every single state, union territory, and India before partition. So Bangladesh and Pakistan as well. And I'm just going to see what happens along the way. Like, I'm just going to hope that something good happens. I just knew something good would happen. And I'd find a way to support myself along that long, massive journey. And as you can see from the YouTube channel, it's got 300,000 subscribers now and nearly 40 million views on the videos. So, you know, a lot happened. And I'd always, like, while I was working, I'd always had this passion and this dream to just be fulfilled by the work I'm doing. And I'd always wanted to be a free man and to be a self-made man. So those are the things I work on today, feeling fulfilled through my work, becoming a free man. And I feel like I'm free now from my old life and from what I shouldn't use the word slavery for work back there, but that's what it felt like to me. So yeah, I feel fulfilled and I feel free now, and being a self-made man is the next goal for me. And while I was preparing this presentation, I just was like thinking, like, what did I do to get this far? And I thought I'd share the 3 things with you guys. So the first thing was, I decided to follow my passion, and that passion, I've done this throughout my life. I've always decided to follow my passion. I followed it through the music industry, then I followed it through the IT industry, where I got made redundant, and then Now I followed it to India. Second thing was, I knew I had to take risks. And the first real risk I took was just leaving everybody behind in New Zealand and going where I wanted to go, and that was India. And when you take risks, you get all these insecurities like, what if it doesn't work? What if I don't make it? What will people think of me? My parents thought I was crazy. Hey, why are you going to India for? Everything's good here. Just get another job. You'll be fine. But I was at that point right now. I can't go back working for somebody else. I need to make myself feel fulfilled somehow. And so I came to India. I took that risk. And then I knew, like, whatever I did, whatever I decided to produce, I had to create value for other people, whatever I did. Like, I'd always had this desire to help people throughout my life, whether it was fixing their computer or helping them with a song or something. I'd always had this desire to help. So you have to create value for people and give them something kind of meaningful to them and something that helps them in their life. So that's what I've always tried to do with all of my videos. So those are the three things that I did and that I would hope would kind of lead to success for me one day. And the whole time I was thinking this one quote. I can't remember who said it, but it's always been stuck in my head, and that's uncommon risk leads to uncommon success. Uncommon risk leads to uncommon success. And for a foreigner like me, just to pack up and leave everything and go to India and travel the entire country, it's a totally crazy thing and a crazy risk, and it has led to uncommon success for me. Now to the future, I've still got to finish traveling every single state and union territory. Pakistan and Bangladesh are done. I'm hoping to go back there though. I've got 3 more to go, so I have to go to Chhattisgarh, I have to go to Lakshadweep and Odisha. And that'll be all done in the next few months. If you guys want to follow my journey here in India, there's lots happening. You can just go to YouTube, search for Karl Rock, and you'll find all my videos there for free for you guys to watch and enjoy me showing you guys your own country and the beauty of it. So, Dhanyavad and Jai Hind.